Well, good morning, and yes, it's me again. I'm back. Oh, is that too much this early in the morning? Sorry. Well, it's quiet around here. It's early Sunday morning. There's no activity going on. The governor's put us into another 30 days of quarantine, and so maybe that gives us a chance to keep these little sing-alongs going. We'll continue to post these online on Sundays as much as we can anyway, and maybe just enjoy some great old songs and some old choruses together. I would encourage you, if you looking for the praise songs at 10:30 on Sunday mornings, you can tune in to Facebook Live at FCC Impact, with Keith and Amy, and have a great time of worship and fellowship together as they sing and share in some praise music. But we find ourselves in this capacity. Now, I forgot. Some of you've asked about my hats. Well, there's a reason that I've had these on. Let me here. Let me get tuned in here. All right, look. Yeah, that's us. Yeah, well, no, that's not really it, even though he's my twin brother. But there is a reason why I have the hats on. Have you watched the sermon videos lately? Have you? Well, if you have, you might have picked up on the glare going up top here. Huh? Maybe you picked up on that? Well, I thought maybe in these videos I would put a hat on so that you didn't have to wear sunscreen and put your sunglasses on in order to participate in these sing-alongs, okay? So now you know the real reason for the hats, okay? Well, go get your hat. Why don't you just go get your hat, put it on, and we'll wear our hats together. In fact, get your trusty cup of coffee, too, while you're out and about. I got mine, of course. I always have my coffee handy. And you go get your hat, your coffee, tune up your voice, and we'll sing together, okay? How about this old one here, okay? Well, I was going to jump right into that song, but when I got it finished, I thought, I'm going to go back and add a little information into these songs so that you will know where they came from and maybe better relate to some of these songs. This was a song that was written in 1958 by a man whose name was Thomas. At least that was his first name. Thomas enrolled in 1939 in the Vaughn School of Music in Tennessee, where he studied music. He began his career as a singer, sang in a few different groups, but put his career on hold when the war came, World War II, and enlisted in the Navy and served in the Navy for 4 years. After his service, he came out and sang in several other groups through the years, but really wanted to become more of a songwriter and a producer. And so he began to focus more on writing songs and producing albums, and has just given us some really wonderful songs through the years. Probably one of his more familiar old hymns would be a song called How Long Has It Been? What a great song that is. Maybe we'll do that someday. But this song is based upon Isaiah chapter 25, verse 4, where Isaiah talks about the Lord being our refuge, a shelter for us during times of storm. And in our present situation, this is just a wonderful song to relate to. We lost Thomas in 2015, but his music lives on. And so with this song, Till the Storm Passes By, I just thoroughly love this song and have for a lot of years. we can connect maybe to some of the struggles that Thomas went through by singing this song. Oh, and you may not know him as Thomas. You probably know him more from the name that he went by. What's his middle name? His name was Mosey. Mosey Lister. Till the storm passes by. In the dark of the midnight, I have all hid my face, while the storm howls above me, and there's no hiding place. Mid the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry, keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. When the long night is ended and the storms come no more, let me stand in thy presence on that bright, peaceful shore, in the land where the tempest never comes. Lord, may I dwell with thee till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast and let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast and let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Well, this next song is a little quicker than that last one. This was a song that was written by a couple of Georges, George Webb and George Duffield Jr. Now, as far as I know, the two never met in their lifetime. George Webb was born in England in 1803, grew up and became a composer of music there, decided to journey to the United States in 1837. Of course, it would have been by boat then, and so it was quite a lengthy trip. And so while on the journey, he composed this tune. It was initially just entitled Webb. It would later take on the name Morning Light. It would become the tune of many hymns and secular songs. In fact, it was written as a secular song initially. Webb and his partner would publish the song in a collection of secular tunes late in 1837. Now, lyrics to the song were inspired by the words of a dying man. George Duffield Jr. was born in Pennsylvania in 1818. He grew up to become a Presbyterian minister and ministered in several states, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Illinois. But while he was in the Philadelphia area, he befriended a young man by the name of Dudley Tang. Yeah, like the old drink, Tang. Now, Tang was responsible for one of the largest revivals ever to happen in the United States. Tang had been ousted by his congregation for preaching a sermon on anti-slavery. Many of the folks from his congregation were wealthy, and it angered them that he preached this sermon, and so they fired him. And so Tang established a new church called Church of the Covenant, and along with that then began to have midday services during the week where he would preach or just have a prayer service. And at one of those services, which was a prayer service for men, there were about 5,000 men that showed up. And at the end of the service, about 1,000 of them were converted. And that was the beginning then of a fairly large revival in the United States. Well, the lyrics to this song then stem from a tragedy in Tang's life. You see, Tang was visiting a farm and got his arm caught in a threshing machine. Would later lose the arm as it was mangled pretty bad, and eventually would even lose his life because of it. On his deathbed, many of his friends, fellow ministers, and his father were called in, and one of those men was George Duffield Jr. Knowing that he was on his deathbed, they asked him, "Do you have any final message that you would like for us to tell the people?" Tang said no initially, but about 10 minutes later he said, "Yes, I think I have some things." And he gave them several things, but one of the phrases that he used struck a chord with Duffield. The phrase was, "Tell them, stand up for Jesus." Tang would die just a short time later. George Duffield Jr. would be asked to lead the memorial service for Dudley Tang. So on April 25th of 1858, George Duffield Jr. presented a message from Ephesians chapter 6 and the armor of God, which described many of the aspects of the ministry of Dudley Tang. But at the end of the memorial service, he read a poem that he had written that week that he titled, "Stand Up for Jesus." Initially, it had 6 verses to it. Our hymn books only include 4 of those 6, the first 3, and then number 6. We get, of course, stand up for Jesus. Now, I mentioned that the 2 of these men, Webb and Duffield, never met, as far as I know. Somewhere in the future, a man by the name of William Bradbury took the lyrics, or the poem, and paired it with the tune that Webb had written, and we then came out with the song, Stand Up for Jesus. And so let's sing a few verses of this together, okay? Stand up for Jesus, ye soldiers of the cross. Lift high his royal band, it must not suffer loss. From victory unto victory, his army shall he lead, till every foe is vanquished, and Christ is Lord indeed. Stand up for Jesus, stand in his strength alone. The arm of flesh will fail you, ye dare not trust your own. Put on the gospel armor, each piece put on with prayer. where duty calls or danger, be never wanting there. Stand up for Jesus, the strife will not be long. This day the noise of battle, the next the victor's song. To him who overcometh, a crown of life shall be. He with the King of glory shall reign eternally. Well, this next song was written in 1885 by a man named Josiah Kelly Allwood. He was a circuit rider preacher back in those days. Preachers had several what they called appointments. And of course, before vehicles, he would ride horseback from place to place. And I suspect, though we don't really know for sure, I suspect that maybe he wrote this song as he traveled from one place to another. The song is entitled "The Unclouded Day," and so I'm guessing maybe that it was a cloudy day or maybe even a rainy day as he traveled along. And wrote the song. Now, the song originally, and what it kind of reminds me of in terms of horseback, the song originally, the tune was really kind of sounded like you were riding on the back of a horse. John the Baptist stopped by today, and the tune is, and you see his head bobbing, is more like you're riding on a horse. Initially, it was, "Oh, they tell me of a home far beyond the skies. Oh, they tell me of a home." It was a lot more bouncy and like you were riding on the back of a horse. Of course, through the years, we've changed it quite a bit to make it a little more singable, and it's a little more smooth, I guess, than maybe what it once was. So, if you want to join with me. The Unclouded Day, okay? Okay, John, just like you're riding a horse, okay? Oh, they tell me of a home far beyond the sky. They tell me of a home far away. They tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of the cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, they tell me of a home where my friends have gone. They tell me of a land far away, where the tree of life in eternal bloom shed its fragrance through an unclouded day. Oh, the land of a cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Last one. Oh, they tell me that he smiles on his children there. His smiles drive their sorrows away. Tell me that no tears ever come again in that lovely land of unclouded day. Oh, the land of a cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of a cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Well, John had too much honey and locusts, and so he went to take a nap. And so I am on my own for the last couple of songs here. This was a song that was written in 1873 by a lady whose name was Frances. Now, Frances was born in 1820. When she was 6 weeks old, she was maltreated for an eye infection. And as a result of that, at 6 weeks old, she was blinded for life. Shortly after that, her father passed away suddenly, and now her mother, as a 21-year-old widow, had to hire herself out as a maid. And so Frances' grandmother, Eunice, kind of took over raising her. And she taught her a tremendous amount of things, gave her descriptions of things that she could see outside, and not only did she give her very descriptive pictures of the world, she also taught her about God and about biblical things. Through the years, Frances enrolled in the School of the Blind and would later end up teaching at that school, where she would meet her husband. Together they would serve in helping other blind people. But one evening, while they were at home, Frances' good friend Phoebe Knapp stopped by, and while they were visiting, Phoebe said, "Hey, I've got this tune that I want you to hear." And so she played the tune for her, and she said, what does that sound like to you? And Fanny said, "Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine." And over the next few weeks or so, they put their heads together and came up with this tune. Now, we've changed it through the years to various tunes, but it's still a great song by Fanny Crosby, "Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine." Okay? Hold on a minute. It's my phone going off. Well, that was my wife. She said I looked like the bobblehead Noah. Maybe she's right. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste, glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. perfect submission. All is at rest. I am my Savior, happy and blessed, watching and waiting, looking above, filled with His goodness, lost in His love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Well, thank you for joining me today. Hope you had a good time with these old songs. Let's just do one more short chorus here as we close out for today. His name is wonderful, His name is wonderful, His name is wonderful, Jesus my Lord. He is the mighty King, Master of everything. His name is wonderful, Jesus my Lord. He's the great shepherd, the rock of all ages, Almighty God is He. Bow down before Him, love and adore Him. His name is wonderful, Jesus my Lord. He's the great shepherd, the rock of all ages, Almighty God is He. Bow down before Him, love